everybody, welcome back. My name's Colin, this is Blue Label Racing, and as you could see from my previous video, if you watched it, I had a race, my first race with Gridlife in South Haven, Michigan at Gingerman Raceway, and it was an eye-opener. I did not know how competitive I would be in a new car with a new build on a new track that I've never been to before. The people there are so supportive and helpful. I have good friends. I'm really enjoying it. I drove the car there and back. I didn't have a tow rig. I just strapped all my stuff to the roof on a roof box. It was a great time. It was a really great time, and I need to do a lot more of it. Coming up this September, September 23rd, 24th, the next event I'm going to is at my home track here in Topeka, Kansas, and it's another event just like I had last time, a time trial event. And I'm going to be taking this car with the same setup as I have right now, but with a few tweaks. So what I want to do is have a look around top to bottom to show you what went wrong on the car during the race and what few things I want to change, changes I want to make, and just generally talk and say what I want to say without planning it out. How about that? We'll just see how it goes. Let's do it. And the first thing I want to do is show you around my finished wrap, because I never actually showed you what the car looked like when it was finished in video. I just kind of jumped straight to the track event. So here it is. The problem that I had with not having enough vinyl, I sorted out, and you can't even tell what happened. I did actually order a second round of vinyl, and if you look really closely, you'll notice that this panel and the hood are actually a different color than these two panels and the rest of the car. It's ever so slight. I got really lucky, but yeah, that turned out really well. So this sticker here and this sticker here I bought at the event. Those Gridlife provided. My Blue Label Racing graphic in the same font that we have on our logo up there on the wall. I've got all the brands of parts that I've used. Hey, don't do that. There we go. We've got our JCW logo, Falcon for my tires, BC Racing coilovers, Hawk Performance pads, and Powerflex bushings. I'm really happy with the look of this car. I kind of got this inspiration down here from some of the other GLTC cars that do a similar setup. Got my Gridlife stickers here on the rear bumper. My grandma has provided me with money over the years to build this car because she likes to be involved in what I'm doing. So she requested that she have some sort of representation on the car, and I decided to come up with like a B&W M style logo for her. So that's my grandma, Nana Motorsports. Hi, thank you, I appreciate you. I made these graphics all up with our vinyl cutter here in-house. This one was also provided at the event. I got a tow hook sticker for the front and the rear, but all of this stuff I bought off of Amazon, and it was just one strip of like maybe 1 foot wide gold vinyl, and I fed it through this machine that's very high tech. This is a pretty cool tool to work with. You basically slide the vinyl roll in under here, and you tell it where to start the cutter head that's under here. And there's an application for the PC that's kind of like Photoshop, but you can basically design cutouts and text, and it just goes along and zips all the letters out for you. It's really cool. Since I've gotten the outside of the car wrapped in blue, I really want to take the dashboard and wrap that in blue. And these these silver painted surfaces, I want these to be color matched eventually. I think that'll look real nice. For a first timer on a budget, I think I did pretty well with this wrap. There's not any wrinkles, not any bubbles, except for, you probably saw on the trunk lid, there was a section where it was bubbled up, but I'll redo that at some point. I do know what I did wrong on that, and I am going to fix it. So, let's talk about what I learned at the track, because I learned a lot. First of all, I had my coilover set to like minus 2.6, 2.7 degrees of camber up front. I need all of it. Supposedly these will do like 3 degrees of camber, and I'm gonna do as much camber as I possibly can, because it was close to perfect. But if you look at the tire here, the little wear triangles right there. I could see this getting worn away slowly over the weekend, and that's kind of the visual indicator as to where you want your shoulder to start. So I'm gonna put as much camber and caster as I can in there. I was pretty happy with the alignment when I got there. I think for my first time out, it was probably perfect, but now that I kind of have a feel for how the car handles at the limit, I can probably use a little bit more camber. My radiator, I replaced this right before I left for the event because it was leaking. I got this one out of my parts car that's now gone. This radiator is now also leaking, which shouldn't really be a surprise because it has 180,000 miles on it. That's neither here nor there. I already bought the parts car. I already spent the money. I used it. Whatever. The tires themselves, in terms of wear, I'm really happy with how even it is. It is rolling over to the shoulder right here, but in terms of evenness across the tread surface, there's still lots of life left on there. I'm really amazed at how well these hold up. With the car up in the air, I can show you a couple fail points that we had. Where is she? Right there. Yeah, CV boot torn open. That's not ideal, but also not to be surprised by. Oh, I've just noticed this. Cool. Passenger axle seal leak. That's fun. I'll do that at the same time that I do this CV boot, because this one also, it's not really torn open. Gosh, look at all that goop. This one's not actually torn open, but it's just leaking from like the mating surface to that cup. I have this problem a lot, and it's really annoying because I like having my cars lowered, but it seems like it just eats through CV boots, and I'm kind of tired of replacing them. Actually, I'm tired of the mess that it makes. I'm not upset by maintenance. I'm just upset at having to clean up the mess afterwards. At the back, we have a few failures and a few ideas. So my exhaust, the hanger is torn open under there, and it sits kind of lower than it's supposed to. This will be the second time that I've had to replace that, but that's a minor issue. Let's see. The sway bar that I have set to the middle setting over here, and I have set to, where is it? I have it set to the far setting over there. If you think about the adjustability of sway bars, that puts it at like step 2 out of 5. So I really don't even have it in the middle yet. But I think based off of the way it rotated at the track, I could get away with having it stiffer, so I had more advantage being able to get it to rotate when I need it to. It was actually really predictable and really controllable at the limit, which was nice. Scary to find, but once you get there, you realize it's fairly predictable, and it didn't do anything really scary once you got to know it. So I think I will next time actually set this side to the middle setting and kind of put it at 3 out of 5. And I also got a recommendation from Dewey. Dewey DeWitt is one of the street mod drivers, actually the top of the class street mod driver. He's got a Subaru WRX that's like insanely built. He wins everything everywhere he goes. He drove my car, and he said it needed more rear shock bias, but he said he was also very impressed by it, which is makes me very happy to hear somebody else tell me that I did a good job building my car. And on top of that, there is one problem that you can't see that's actually fairly large, potentially fairly large, in that in session 7, my last session where I actually set my fastest time, when I pulled into the pits, and as I was pulling back out of the pits, in the shot that you saw, it was actually really difficult to get into first gear. And I know that everything was really hot, but it actually hasn't changed since then. I've been driving it since the event on the street, and kind of having to go 4-3, 4-3, 4-3, 2-1 to get it into first. Super annoying. It's only a problem with first, so I'm kind of in the air as to whether I am going to try to pull it apart and diagnose it and fix it before the event in Heartland, because I'm not going to use first on the track, maybe to get out, but I don't need it to be snappy. Haven't decided what to do about that yet. Don't know where the problem lies. It's probably in a synchro, which doesn't make me happy, but at the same time, it's a track car. I don't need to daily it. I can pull the transmission apart if I have to. I can replace a synchro if I have to. And I should have seen this coming, because this is a transmission that's known for being kind of fragile. Not as fragile as the Midlands, but it's still a 5-speed, and they're not bulletproof like the 6-speeds are. So I've been driving this car, for a month or two since the event, and I got in the other day, started the car, and turned the AC on, left it to sit for a few minutes to cool off while I closed up the shop and came back out. And when I got back in the car, it was hot. And when I say hot, I mean like the AC did not work like it did even the day before. So I hooked up the gauges right here, and what I saw was a goose egg where I should see pressure. So evidently somewhere along the way, between just over the course of 24 hours, all of my refrigerant leaked out. And at that point, since it's a track car, I kind of decided that I wasn't going to try to fix it, and I'm just going to remove it, and we're going to call it weight savings. So I was upset for like 5 minutes, and then I got online and started looking up how much the compressor weighs and how much the condenser weighs, and I found out that it's not as much as I was hoping for, but it is still like 16, 17 pounds of weight savings. And on top of that, I already have an AC compressor delete pulley, so I don't have to get a new belt. I can just slap that puppy on. We'll be good to go. Then it'll be a proper race car. So with those two things going, we'll have about 17 pounds taken off the very front of the car, which is great because this is the furthest forward. And in terms of weight savings, if you can take weight from the top of the car or the very front of the car or the very back of the car, that saying being the furthest point from the center, which is the point that the car rotates around, if you can remove weight from anywhere that's the furthest away from the center rotating point of the car, the better those results are going to be. Just like when I swapped my 6-speed for the 5-speed and it was lighter, and I immediately noticed that difference in turn-in, this weight is coming off the very front of the car right down here. So even though it's not nearly as much weight, it'll still be a noticeable difference. The other thing I want to do, because in the regular Cooper, the battery exists in the front instead of in the back, I'm going to take it from the driver's front and I'm going to put it in the passenger rear footwell. So in essence, if you look at the car from the side, we're going to be taking it from here at the front to kind of the middle area, and we're also going to take it from the driver's side to the passenger side. And I'm doing that specifically because A, I'd rather not spend the money on a lightweight battery. B, it only costs me the amount of cables that I need to buy to run it. And C, when I did my corner balancing, setting up with the alignment, the car is like 60 pounds heavy to the driver's side where I'm sitting. So the battery weighs 40 pounds or so. So I figure if I offset that from the front and move it to the side, maybe that'll balance out, and it'll at least be an improvement, if not being perfect. The whole idea of the Sunday Cup is to be on a budget and try to make something out of not a whole lot of something. So I'm really enjoying this. Those are my plans for this car. I'm going to take the AC compressor out. At some point, I'm going to delete the sunroof. Generally just improving and trying to spend as little money as I possibly can from here on out. So thank you guys so much for staying around and watching me babble about nothing that I'm excited about. And hopefully, if you're still watching, that means you enjoy it. So I guess, yeah, still thank you. I would say if you wouldn't mind running down to the comment section and dropping me something that says, thanks for your content, or something that says, I hate your content. Either way, that helps me out. So give me a like, give me a dislike. Either one of those, I'm pretty sure still helps me out. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I am going to take my car apart and see you in the next one. Peace.